70% of the world suffers from inconsistent and complicated addressing system. Poor addressing is costly, we don't like it, and somebody came up with a new idea. How could we address things differently than we just did? And as a gentleman, he came up with the idea to have 3 words for every exact location on this very planet. Please welcome Chris Sheldrick, the CEO and co-founder of what3words. And he is.
Cool.
Hey, Chris, morning. What are the 3 words for this very experience hall?
So for this 3-meter square here at the front of the stage, it's gadgets, heave, struggle.
I don't get it.
Okay.
Tell me more.
I better talk everybody through it maybe, because it's gadgets, heave, struggle.
The stage is all yours, please.
Okay.
Have
You're
fun.
confused. Let me deconfuse people if you don't know what we do. So basically, I'm like a lost musician. I worked for 10 years in the music business. People think the music streaming's a problem. Actually, I think the biggest problem in the music business is everybody getting lost, just trying to find a gig. And we gave addresses to people wherever we went in the world trying to do productions, and I'd get a phone call like, dude, I'm by a hedge and a lamppost. I don't think I'm in the right place. And so this kind of was a perpetual problem, so I decided, do you know what? The world just needs a better way of doing addresses. You don't think about addresses very often, but actually 75% of the world struggle with bad address systems. That's most countries. And, even places like Dubai, where you'd expect it might work, that you have a street and a number. If you work for a smart bank, your business card might say opposite Dunkin' Donuts as the address. It's a lot of places where things don't work. And even in developed countries like the UK, where I'm from, here in Germany, it works in cities, but a lot of the time in the countryside, do you always have something you can type in which will take you to that exact spot? Not very often. And just as an example, this is the Google map for the most populated part of Rio in Brazil, and that's actually how many people are living there. We think we're doing well with maps and addresses, but actually we're kind of scratching at the surface in a lot of the developing world. So you'd think, well, we'll just fix the problem, right? How hard can it be to fix an address system? You just name some streets, make some numbers, right? But actually it's really hard and takes a lot of time. This is the side of a house in Ghana. They have tried over 20 years to make an address system, and they've actually tried 3 different versions. And this house has kind of got the residue of each of these tests. Yet each of these pilots were abandoned, and the person who lives here still has no way of describing where they live. So we have a really good way of talking about anywhere on the planet, even if there's no name for it, latitude and longitude. And it looks a bit like this. And I tried this in music, and I was like, guys, please show up at this latitude and longitude. But then I got this new problem where people were like, dude, where's the degrees sign on my phone? And the day that a truck driver mixed up a 4 and a 5 and unloaded all of the gear 1 hour north of Rome, not 1 hour south of Rome, was the day I kind of found this a bit of a hassle. And no one ever calls someone up and says, look, meet me for a beer at 25 degrees, 9 minutes, 40.918 seconds south, 18, it's not very user-friendly. So I guess my idea was, can we make latitude and longitude really easy so that actually everybody in the world could use it? So what we did, we divided the world into 57 trillion 3-meter squares. And we realized that if you took the dictionary, and dictionary words like table, chair, spoon, you've got enough combinations of 3 words that you can uniquely label every 3-meter square in the world. So if you say the entrance to that house is table, chair, spoon, the next square could be called toffee, branch, pyramid. The next square could be called bread, wallpaper, cupboard. You can literally cover every 3 meter by 3 meter square in land and the sea, and you don't run out of words, and you don't run out of combinations. So it's just like no area codes, no country codes. It's then, please everyone show up at toffee, branch, pyramid, and that's it. End of conversation. So that's what we did. And we're basically saying, look, instead of a whole load of long numbers, just use 3 words, and this is going to make your life much easier. So when you make a system like this, it's not only useful for lost musicians, this is something that a whole parts of society can benefit from. So it's emergency services, it's delivery, it's tourism, it's just you're getting from A to B is when you're out hiking. Like an address system is really important, and it's like a common sort of language for location. So we started out doing what you'd normally do. We made an app, and that's great. It's called what3words. And because we labeled every 3 meter square means, yes, you can find the 3 words we labeled your front door with. You just go to the app, and I'm sure you can find out how to find your 3 words. But after we made this app, and it was in English, and that's great, of course, the world's a very multilingual place, so this is not an English-only thing. We've done it in Arabic 3 words. We've got German 3 words, French 3 words, Swahili 3 words. We want everybody to be able to use this in their own language wherever you are in the world. So it's not like the German words are only in Germany. They are everywhere in the world. But what we're really doing here is making an ecosystem. We want to make 3-word addresses, as we call them, so popular that you can put them into any app. So that basically our app becomes like the smallest part of the ecosystem because you can use them in all sorts of things. And we're starting to get a lot of traction with major services across the world. So I'll just talk you through a couple of examples. This is NavMe, the world's biggest offline navigation app. You download your own map for the country. You can put the 3-word addresses straight into NavMe today. This is DuckDuckGo, the big up-and-coming Google search rival. You can put your 3-word address straight in there. The map's going to come up. That's already done. This travel guide I love. Don't know if anyone's been to Japan, but the street address at the top right is a mouthful, to say the least. They've just put the 3-word address in red for every single one of their properties in the world to help travelers navigate around. Glastonbury Festival. You've got 200,000 people in a field with one postcode in England. And this year and last year, the festival staff used us for all the emergency response. And on one hand, it's kind of weird when you hear someone saying, look, someone's just fainted at Basket Donut, a cardboard. And someone's like, yeah, don't worry, I'm on my way to Basket Donut cardboard. But it's really useful for them because they've got a huge site and they need to be able to get around it quickly. And 3-meter accuracy is exactly what they need. This is really cool. We've just got into our first bit of drone software. And so you can now just put your 3-word address in, click a button, and send the drone to get there. Because drones, they need something more like latitude and longitude. A street address won't really do. They need to be precise. So where we want to take this is that maybe you're ordering your package from Amazon or another retailer, and you just put in your 3-word address. Your drone's going to come there. And I think that's the way that everything's going. You're going to need a destination for that drone to go to. The United Nations have just built us into their disaster recovery app. So in international crisis, a lot of responding agencies go somewhere. There aren't many addresses. They now tag each bit of that data with a 3-word address. It goes back to Switzerland and then redistributed, which is fantastic. Now, Audi had a little experiment with our German version. Now, Vorsprung, Deutsch, Technik are all dictionary words. So they put the 3 words into our German version, and it comes up as a 3-meter square in Brazil. So they were like, okay, this would be cool. Let's drive an Audi Q7 car there. So that's what we did. And they did a huge piece on it in search of Vorsprung, Deutsch, Technik. And they kind of brought it to life through a video. You can find it on our site. But it's great that other brands are using the 3-word addresses to demonstrate what they can do. In their case, they can literally get a car anywhere. And consumers then are now, they're finding their 3 words and they're putting it on their Contact Us page. They're like, yeah, no issues with going, oh, put this postcode, but actually it's the entrance around the back. No, they just append their Contact Us page with their 3-word address now. But where we're really going with this, we've done very well with mapping applications, is the logistics world. So UPS say that each of their drivers drove 1 mile less per day, and they got a little bit less lost. They would save $50 million a year, which is a lot of money for lost drivers and inaccurate addresses. So we started in this sector, in the favelas in Rio, in that part of the city that I showed you earlier. And you can see on the orange thing at the bottom here, they now use the 3 Portuguese words, and it goes on every single package that goes out in that favela. They use that as an internal system, and it's transforming the efficiency of that organization. Now, after we did that, I got invited to go to Mongolia, and this is the inside of a common Mongolian house. The problem is that is the outside. It's really tough to have an address or for the postman to deliver to the person who lives there. So not only do we have 3 English words for that place in Mongolia, but we now have 3 Mongolian words because the Mongolian Post Service have commissioned us to make a Mongolian version of what we've done. And earlier this summer, we announced our partnership with them, and as from a couple of weeks' time, you'll literally be able to write the name, the 3 Mongolian words, Mongolia, postbox, and it will show up at that house that I showed you. And after we did the deal in Mongolia, we then took the interest of Aramex, which is like the FedEx or UPS of the Middle East, huge courier company. And they do have a problem with that guy in Dubai saying, please deliver my shoes to opposite Dunkin' Donuts. Well, which of the 12 Dunkin' Donuts? And this is a really big efficiency issue for them. So they've come on board with us as investors as well as users of what3words. So as a company, we've been going 3 years now. We've raised £10 million of investment. We have a team of just over 20 people, and we have investment from Aramex and Intel and Horizons Ventures, a large Asian investor. It's great that people love what we're doing, and there's some kind of 2 contrasting bits of press. When we came out in Wired magazine, they kind of ran an article, they just said what our tech did, and they came up with this caption. So, you know, we kind of did the photo, and I got the orange gaffer tape and 3 meter squares on the floor. And I was like, look, do we have to call it crazy global mapper? Could we not go with ambitious global mapper or audacious global mapper? And they were like, no, we're kind of going for crazy. And I think from my point of view, that was like, that's how you're perceived when you just say what you do with something like us. What actually brings it home is when you have a use case which transforms lives. So when we released our news about Mongolia and what that means for the 3 million residents who live there in a country the size of Western Europe, then The Economist write about us, and they write a piece on what we're doing for the economy there, how we can boost e-commerce, how we can get the whole country's infrastructure going with an address system which they've never really had. It's a really interesting thing for me coming to the tech world about how you're perceived and how to position yourself. We've won a lot of awards. We're very fortunate to have. We won the Cannes Lion Grand Prix for innovation. And we've been out there telling people what we do, and we're really fortunate to have so much praise because most of the time people, I think, just like the simplicity. It's 3 words, that's it. It's not like our tech evolves and evolves and evolves. We have it, we make more languages. We want to make it as accessible as possible. We are developing voice technology so you can get into your car, take me to Toffee Branch Pyramid. I want you to be able to order a taxi from your smartwatch. How much is it to get to Toffee Branch Pyramid? Great, book. That's where we're going with the tech, but it's by and large done, and we're out there telling people about it. So how does what3words make money? We've got a free consumer app. Please do have a look at the 3 words for your house and see if you like them. If not, I guess you could change the language and see what it is in another language. But that is always going to be free. What we do is we charge the businesses who get value, those logistics companies who can be far more efficient in their operations. That's who we charge so that we have a good ecosystem of charging the businesses, but it's free for consumers, and we offer discounted rates for not-for-profits. That's what3words. We are making the world a less frustrating, more efficient, and safer place. That's what we're doing through 3-word addresses. I hope that's been helpful and informative. Thank you very much indeed.